Welcome to this meeting. Thank you so much for coming today and being able to talk to me about your son. Jude has been doing so well this semester, and I'm sure you can see the progress as well at home. So I'm going to talk to you about my case study and what I assessed Jude in. So first, I gathered background information on him and what he likes to read and if he likes to read. This gave me an insight on his life and how he reads at home. I then observed your son in his classroom and saw how he interacts with his teachers and peers. To assess phonemic awareness, I saw how he was with whole word discrimination, rhyming word recognition and application, syllable counting, syllable segmentation, blending speech sounds, approximation, and phonemic isolation. Phonics was then assessed by giving him the phonics screener, and then an elementary spelling inventory to see how he can spell. Another area that I worked on with your son was vocabulary. This test is divided into 10 different levels to see how elaborate their vocab is. This skill that the test assesses is the level of their vocabulary. Fluency was also assessed for Jude. Fluency is an essential part of reading. Students who have poor fluency end up being poor readers. Fluency is the ability to read with correct grammar, speed, accuracy, and proper expression. Therefore, we expressed him on to see if he was a fluent reader or not. The last component of the case study that I performed was comprehension. This was just to see his overall level of understanding and what he read. So Jude had 3 really strong levels of strength and areas. So the first area of strength was syllable counting. He counted the amount of syllables in each word by silently clapping the word. He did this quickly and got every single word correct. Another area of strength was knowing how to rhyme. He rhymed every word I gave him, and I could also tell if 2 words rhymed with each other. He did this without any hesitation and seemed extremely confident in his ability. Fluency was another area of strength that Jude had. Jude is a level 4 on the fluency scale. That means he primarily reads in meaningful phrases. He did get a few words wrong, but that didn't mean that he wasn't reading with meaningful phrases. His errors did not detract from the story that he read, and he still understood the text. He seemed to be extremely confident in his reading and only stumbled on a few words. So some strategies to help with his strengths is that with rhyming words, he can kind of create a story and make up a story that has rhyming in it. So that would kind of help with his rhyming. For fluency, he can practice passages by reading aloud with an audio recording of a book or the passage. And then for syllable counting, he can think of 20 different words and count the syllables and write it down on a worksheet. So for areas of growth, he did have a few. Vocabulary was one of them. He did really well with his vocabulary, but he could always expand it just as well as everyone else and always learn new words. Phonics was one that he definitely needed to grow on. To put it into simple terms, phonics is just the relationship between letters and words and the sounds that they make. Jude did a great job at this, but he had some room for improvement. During the assessment, Jude did really well, but only missed a few things on the screener. For his grade level, he was having some difficulties with some of the prefixes and suffixes. For example, he was having a hard time with the suffix of ness and madness and witness. He didn't really understand that the suffix was ness of that. So another thing that he was having trouble on was phoneme deletion. He knew all of the words except for 10 and set. So some of the things that I can do at the school, being a teacher, to help Jude with the growth for that is that for vocabulary, he can expand by finding a word in the dictionary each day and using that word in conversation by the end of the school day. And it had to be cracked, obviously. And then for phonics, you can play a game with a teacher working on suffixes and prefixes. So it'd be like a Jeopardy game. So with each question it'd be a suffix or a prefix, and you'd have to uh, say which one it is and what the word means as well. And with phoneme deletion, it's hard for him because he didn't really understand what it was. So just to like reiterate what phoneme deletion is and kind of teach it to him a little bit more, and also give him a workbook to practice this. And then for you to do at home with Jude to help him with this, with vocabulary, you can find different words for things around the house. So, instead of table, you can say something else, and he'd have to understand that there's different words for different things, which would expand his vocabulary. For phonics, practice every night in a conversation. So if he says something that has a prefix or a suffix in it, you can stop him, tell him that that's what it is, and have him understand that. And then for phoneme deletion, he would work on the workbook at home that I gave him in school, and also practice every day in regular conversations that he has around the house. So, some questions to ask you during this conference. How do you think you can help Jude and his weaknesses other than some of the things I told you?
I can set apart a certain time during the day in the afternoon when he's home from school, once the homework is complete, to spend more time on reading, so it's a consistent habit.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a really good thing to do at home. And we know that Jude was having some difficulties mostly at the beginning of the semester, and now at the end he's been really advanced with everything that he does. So have you noticed any changes at home? Because we've definitely noticed some changes at school.
Yes, I have actually. When he is getting ready for school, he has seemed more excited, and I just think that's because he's overall doing a lot better.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's a lot happier in school as well. Does he read more often at home now?
I haven't really noticed it, but hopefully maybe in the next coming weeks he will be.
Oh, okay. And then I know you have some questions to ask me during this.
Oh, I do. So how much should I help Jude with vocabulary?
You should definitely make it like an everyday occurrence. So at least, like how you said, just set apart a time every day, at least a few minutes, at least probably around 10 or 20, just to have him really know what's going on and have him remember what he was learning in school.
Okay. I know you've given a lot of things I can do to work with him at home, but what are any more techniques that I could use?
Just like everyday practice, making sure he really knows the basis of each, you know, topic like phonics and vocabulary and fluency. Make sure he really understands what it means, and have him practice it every day by reading. Pretty much like reading any book will help him with vocab, fluency, spelling, things like that.
Okay, and I have one more question for you. Since he's so advanced, do you think I should have him skip a grade?
He is at a really crucial time of his life right now, and yes, he is really advanced with reading and writing. However, that might not be the case for all of the subjects that he is currently taking, like math and history. So we can look into putting him into like an honors English setting for next year, but I do not think that he should be skipping grades because he might not get the attention that he needs. So thank you so much for coming to this meeting. I hope you learned a lot and got some information on the case study, as well as some more information about your son. Jude is so advanced for his grade level with English and reading and writing, and mostly with phonics. So I'm sure you can see that based off of the information taken from the case study and also at home. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Oh, how do I stop this?